Hello everyone, I hope and pray that you're doing well today. I saw my first dandelion of the spring today. In a few weeks or in a few days, it will be dandelion season, and this field will likely be inundated, overrun with dandelions. Jesus once told this parable in Luke 13. He asked, what is the kingdom of God like? What shall I compare it to? And he said, it's like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his garden. It grew and became a tree, and the birds perched in its branches. Again, he asked, what shall I compare the kingdom of God to? Well, it's like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked its way all through the dough. When my kids were little, they noticed dandelions, especially this time of year, and I remember one spring sunny day they found one, and then two, and then maybe 10 dandelions, right? They picked them, they brought them home and gave them to Ella as a bouquet. But then just a few short days later, we returned to the very same field, and there were thousands upon thousands of dandelions. It was like there was not one square inch that wasn't covered by dandelions. Now, my kids at that point certainly didn't see dandelions as a weed. I've also talked to people who've found in their bodies a small lump, and they thought, well, it's probably nothing. They went on their way, thought nothing of it, and then they visited the doctor eventually sometime later, and they discovered it was cancer. And it had now spread throughout their entire body. It was too late to stop this invasive disease, and it was devastating. And as a pastor, sitting with somebody who's suffering, I've been asked a question similar to the following. Is there not some force of good in the world that's able to spread life and healing as aggressively and effectively as cancer spreads corruption and death? Isn't there some force for good in this world that's able to spread life and healing like dandelions capturing a soccer field? Is there some force for good that explodes and multiplies exponentially? And that question points me back to this parable in the story that Jesus tells in Luke 13. What's the kingdom of God like? To what shall I compare it to? Well, it's like a pervasive disease, exploding and multiplying exponentially, the kingdom is. It's like dandelions in springtime in terrace. There's nothing that can stop them. Getting into every nook and cranny, every square inch. The kingdom of God, though inconspicuous and hardly noticeable to many at first, is God's activity set in motion on earth to spread healing and restoration to God's groaning creation. The peace of Christ be with you all.